Let's take a moment to think about a part of our body we often overlook: our legs and feet. These are our silent workhorses, carrying us through life without much thought on our part. But what if I told you that the health of your legs and feet holds critical clues about the state of your entire circulatory system? Yes, these limbs we rely on daily have the ability to warn us about deeper, more serious conditions that can affect our heart and brain. It's time we listen to what our legs are trying to tell us. Blood flow is essential. The vessels in our legs and feet act as highways, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every muscle, tendon, and bone. When those roads are clear, we move freely, without pain or limitation. But when blockages or restrictions arise, everything changes. Imagine driving on a road littered with obstacles, slowing you down. That's exactly what happens when our blood vessels start to narrow. Blood can't flow smoothly, and our body begins to suffer the consequences, especially in the lower extremities. One of the first things you might notice is cramping or discomfort in your legs, especially when walking. We've all had cramps at one time or another, but this isn't your average muscle spasm. This is pain that sets in after walking a short distance, pain that makes you stop in your tracks because your legs simply won't let you continue. This is your body's way of sending an urgent signal. Something isn't right with your circulation. This type of pain can often point to a condition known as peripheral arterial disease, or PAD, which affects the arteries in your legs by narrowing them and restricting blood flow. When we talk about PAD, we're not just talking about a leg issue. This condition is a reflection of a larger systemic problem. Your arteries may be compromised not only in your legs, but throughout your entire body. This is why it's so important to pay attention to the early warning signs. Think of it as a red flag being raised by your body, signaling that your circulatory system isn't functioning as it should. Left unchecked, PAD doesn't just affect your mobility. It increases your risk for much more serious conditions like heart disease or even strokes. Over time, our arteries can become narrowed by a buildup of plaque, a combination of fat, cholesterol, and other substances that cling to the artery walls. This is a process known as atherosclerosis, and when it happens in the legs, it can lead to the pain and cramping we talked about earlier. Think of your blood vessels like a garden hose. When the hose gets kinked or clogged, the water can't flow freely. The same is true for our blood. When our vessels are blocked, the blood struggles to deliver the oxygen our muscles need, which leads to discomfort, fatigue, and eventually more severe health problems. But even more importantly, they can prevent the condition from progressing and causing more widespread damage to your body. We need to understand that PAD is not just a localized issue. It's a systemic one. If we have blockages in the arteries of our legs, chances are there are blockages elsewhere, like in our heart or brain. This is why it's critical to address PAD early, not just to relieve the pain in our legs, but to prevent the serious complications that can arise when our blood vessels are compromised. The arteries are the lifelines of our body, and keeping them clear is vital to maintaining our overall health. But what can we do to reduce our risk? Prevention is key. Managing conditions like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes is a great start. These conditions put extra strain on our arteries, increasing the likelihood of plaque buildup. Making lifestyle changes, like adopting a balanced, heart-healthy diet, staying physically active, and avoiding smoking, can go a long way in protecting our blood vessels. And if we're already experiencing symptoms, like cramping or leg fatigue, we should take those signs seriously and seek medical advice without delay. Our legs and feet are trying to communicate with us, and it's our responsibility to listen. They can't speak in words, but they send signals through discomfort, swelling, or a feeling of heaviness. When we experience these symptoms, it's easy to dismiss them as normal aging or simple overuse. But by ignoring these signs, we risk letting an underlying condition worsen. PAD is manageable, especially when caught early. So the sooner we recognize the signs, the better we can protect ourselves from more serious complications. What's most important is that we remain attentive to the health of our entire body. Our legs and feet are integral parts of a much larger system that keeps us alive and thriving. When they show signs of distress, it's our job to respond, not just for the sake of our legs, but for our heart, our brain, and our overall well-being. Now that we've explored cramping as a signal, let's turn our attention to another critical warning sign: wounds on the feet that refuse to heal. Imagine stepping on a sharp object, something as simple as a shard of glass. Normally, our body's instinctive response kicks in. We pull back, clean the wound, and trust that with proper care, healing will follow within days. That's the expectation. But when a wound, particularly on the foot, doesn't heal for weeks or longer, it's time to pay attention. This isn't just a minor inconvenience. It's a signal from the body that something deeper is wrong, particularly in those with certain underlying health conditions. For many, especially those managing diabetes, the situation becomes even more concerning. Why? Because they may not even notice that the wound is there. This lack of awareness stems from nerve damage, often a byproduct of diabetes.
We often take our circulatory system for granted until something goes wrong. Blood flow touches every part of our health, from how we think to how we move. When something is off, it's easy to dismiss small symptoms, but they can be the early warning signs of bigger issues. The health of one part of the body reflects the health of the whole. A darkened toe may seem minor, but it could be an early signal that our arteries are struggling to keep up. When we understand that everything is connected, we start to appreciate the importance of acting early and not waiting for problems to escalate. What's incredible is that something as simple as the food we eat can make a significant difference in how well our circulation functions. Take roasted beets, for example. This isn't just about adding flavor to our meals. Beets are packed with natural nitrates, which help widen blood vessels and improve blood flow. So, when we enjoy dishes made with beets, we're actually supporting our body's ability to keep blood moving efficiently. Every bite becomes a small step toward better heart and vascular health. It's not just a meal. It's a proactive way to care for ourselves. Sometimes people feel uncertain about how to incorporate these beneficial foods into their diet. We stand in the grocery aisle, staring at these odd-looking vegetables, wondering how to turn them into something we'd actually enjoy eating. But cooking doesn't have to be complicated or intimidating. Roasted beets, for example, are incredibly easy to prepare, and there are endless ways to enhance their flavor. A drizzle of olive oil, a splash of balsamic vinegar, or even some fresh orange slices can transform them into a delicious, nourishing dish. Simple tweaks like these can turn a basic vegetable into a gourmet experience that feels both satisfying and health-boosting. What's even more fascinating is what happens inside our bodies when we consume foods like beets. When we chew them, the natural compounds in the beets are converted by bacteria in our mouths into nitric oxide, a molecule that plays a crucial role in widening our blood vessels. This means better blood flow, lower blood pressure, and improved oxygen delivery to our muscles and organs. Think about how this can impact someone with poor circulation, especially in their legs and feet. By choosing the right foods, we can make a real difference in how our body functions and feels day to day. But, like anything in life, balance is essential. While beets and spinach are excellent for improving circulation, they do contain oxalates, which in large amounts can lead to kidney stones or other concerns. The key is variety and moderation. we can enjoy the benefits of these nutrient-rich foods without overdoing it. If diet alone isn't enough, or if we have underlying health conditions, speaking with a healthcare professional is always a good idea.
If you're living with diabetes or know someone who is, it's vital to remain proactive. Inspecting the feet regularly, wearing protective footwear, and seeking medical attention at the first sign of a non-healing wound can make all the difference. The earlier we intervene, the better the outcome. Blood vessel damage, nerve damage, and impaired healing are all interconnected, but they're also manageable if we stay vigilant. Preventative care becomes our best ally. Simple steps like improving blood sugar control, exercising to promote circulation, and keeping the skin clean and moisturized can all help in maintaining the health of both the blood vessels and nerves. By doing so, we significantly reduce the risks of complications from foot injuries. It's not just about responding to symptoms, it's about actively protecting our body's ability to heal itself. Think about what happens next. Because there's no pain, the injury goes unnoticed. Days go by, maybe even weeks, and all the while, the wound gets worse. Bacteria find their way in, and an infection sets in. By the time the person realizes there's a problem, it may have progressed to a point where the surrounding skin is dying, and the smell of infection becomes impossible to ignore. This is a harsh reality for many, yet it's something we rarely hear about. Why? Because it's often hidden in silence. Many people don't talk about it, and many healthcare professionals aren't equipped with the knowledge to handle these kinds of complex, slow-healing wounds. What we need to understand is that diabetic foot ulcers and similar chronic wounds require specialized care. This isn't something that can be managed with just a simple bandage or over-the-counter ointment. Wound care clinics, staffed with experts who know exactly how to handle these cases, play a vital role. These specialists are trained to deal with the underlying causes of chronic wounds, and they can help prevent the situation from escalating into something far worse, like amputation. Early treatment is critical. The longer we wait, the harder it becomes to heal these wounds, and the risk of severe complications rises dramatically. Now let's talk about what these specialized treatments look like. It's not just about cleaning the wound. Often, the process starts with debridement. That means removing the dead, infected tissue to give the healthy tissue a chance to grow. In some cases, advanced therapies, like applying growth factors that stimulate new blood vessels, can be used to help the body heal itself. It's incredible what modern medicine can do, but we have to seek that care early on. Waiting until the situation is dire can limit our options and make recovery much more difficult. But it's not just about treatment after the fact. Prevention is key. For anyone with diabetes, we should make a habit of inspecting our feet every single day. It's a simple, proactive step that can catch problems before they become serious. Check for any signs of redness, cuts, swelling, or blisters. Make it part of your routine, whether it's before bed or after a shower. If something doesn't look right, don't hesitate. Reach out to a healthcare professional. Catching these issues early can be the difference between a minor wound and a major health crisis. Another thing we need to watch for is swelling in our feet and ankles. Many people experience swelling at some point, and often it's harmless. Maybe we've been sitting for too long on a plane or car ride, and the reduced circulation causes some temporary puffiness. But when swelling is persistent, it's important to pay attention. This could be a sign of a more serious condition, like heart problems. When the heart isn't pumping effectively, fluid can accumulate in the lower parts of our body, causing swelling that doesn't go away on its own. There's a specific kind of swelling called pitting edema, where pressing on the swollen area leaves a dent that takes a while to refill. This can be a warning sign of heart failure, where the blood isn't circulating properly and fluid is leaking into surrounding tissues. We may not think of our feet as connected to our heart health, but in reality, they can tell us a lot about what's going on inside. Swelling in the lower extremities isn't something to ignore. It's our body's way of signaling that something might be wrong, and it deserves our attention. Heart disease, like diabetes, can creep up on us. The early signs are easy to miss or dismiss. Maybe we feel a little more tired than usual, or we notice our feet and ankles are swollen at the end of the day. But these subtle changes are important, and they can indicate much bigger issues if left unchecked. That's why it's so important to be aware of our bodies and take action when something feels off. Whether it's swelling, persistent wounds, or any other unusual symptom, these are signs that should prompt us to seek medical advice before things get worse. This is not difficult stuff. It's common sense when the pump isn't working well. When the heart struggles to pump effectively, blood can back up in the veins, leading to fluid accumulation in the lower extremities, specifically the calves, ankles, and feet. This buildup causes swelling, and if you can press into the swollen area and see a dimple, that's a warning sign. Now let's shift our focus to another critical indicator of poor venous circulation: venous leg ulcers. These ulcers differ in appearance from diabetic wounds, and their irregular shapes can surprise those unfamiliar with them. Picture a map of a distant island or the contours of a large lake, like the Salt Lake in Utah, broad, shallow, and irregular around the edges. While they may not seem as severe as deep wounds, they can cover a significant area and require specialized attention. If this sounds unfamiliar, don't be concerned. Many primary care physicians might not recognize them immediately or understand their complexity. Yet they are an unmistakable sign of venous insufficiency, a condition where blood isn't flowing back to the heart as it should. Venous insufficiency is something we must be aware of because it's a common yet often overlooked cause of leg discomfort. The veins in our legs are equipped with valves, working like small gates that prevent blood from flowing backward. These valves are vital, especially when blood travels upward, defying gravity. But when these valves fail, blood can pool, leading to swelling, aching, and eventually fluid leaking into the surrounding tissues. This process explains why we see the dimpling effect in the skin when pressure is applied to a swollen area. It's the body's way of signaling that something isn't quite right beneath the surface. As we've discussed, if fluid continues to accumulate, it doesn't just stop at swelling. The skin becomes more fragile, more susceptible to breaking down. Imagine a balloon filled with water. Eventually, with enough pressure and wear, that thin barrier can give way. Similarly, our skin, under constant strain from swelling, becomes prone to ulcers. These venous ulcers, although shallow, are notorious for being difficult to heal. Without the right intervention, they can linger for months or even longer, becoming a chronic problem that deeply affects one's quality of life. If we or someone we care about experiences these ulcers, it's crucial not to dismiss them as merely a skin issue. This is where communication with a healthcare provider becomes key. We should advocate for ourselves, asking for a referral to a wound care specialist if necessary. In specialized wound clinics, the staff are trained to manage such conditions comprehensively, using advanced techniques and therapies tailored to individual cases. And if our primary care doctor is unfamiliar with local specialists, we can take it upon ourselves to find reputable wound care associations online. Knowledge is power, and seeking out expertise can make all the difference in proper healing. One practical and accessible treatment for venous insufficiency is compression therapy. This may sound simple, but it's profoundly effective. By applying gentle, consistent pressure to the legs, compression helps the veins move blood back toward the heart, reducing the likelihood of further fluid buildup. It's like giving our circulatory system a little boost in the right direction. Compression therapy can also significantly improve ulcer healing rates by relieving pressure and improving oxygen delivery to damaged tissues. But compression isn't always enough. For more stubborn ulcers, advanced wound care techniques, such as the use of growth factors or even skin grafts, can be considered. These treatments encourage the regeneration of healthy skin and provide the body with the tools it needs to repair the damage. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, another option for more severe cases, involves placing the body in a pressurized chamber to deliver higher concentrations of oxygen. This treatment is particularly effective in stimulating the growth of new blood vessels, which, in turn, promotes faster healing. A blackened toe might seem like a small problem, but it could signal something far more serious: peripheral arterial disease, PAD. PAD occurs when blood vessels become narrowed or blocked, preventing oxygen from reaching the tissues. This lack of oxygen can lead to tissue death, known as gangrene, and requires immediate medical intervention. This problem isn't isolated to the toes. It signifies wider issues in blood circulation throughout the body. Narrowed arteries can lead to severe complications such as heart attacks or cognitive decline. Therefore, if you notice black toes, it's crucial to consult a vascular surgeon, as they specialize in assessing circulation issues. Remember, warning signs like these are indicators that should not be ignored, as they can lead to significant health concerns if left untreated. We often overlook the small signs our body gives us, such as a darkened toe, but these seemingly minor issues can be profound indicators of something much larger happening beneath the surface. Our bodies are intricately connected, and the health of one area reflects on the well-being of the whole. When we encounter symptoms like this, it's easy to dismiss them as isolated incidents, but they may be signs of a broader concern with our circulation. Our lifeline, the very system that nourishes every organ, muscle, and cell. Without proper circulation, our body cannot function optimally, leading to deterioration in unexpected ways. One way to naturally support our circulation is through the foods we consume. Nature has provided us with incredible resources, such as beets. Roasted beets, for instance, offer more than just a delightful dish. They are a nutritional powerhouse. With every bite, we're giving our body the tools it needs to function better. The nitrates in beets help dilate blood vessels, allowing blood to flow more easily and reducing strain on the heart. This connection between what we eat and how we feel cannot be overstated. Just imagine, something as simple as incorporating beets into a salad could play a role in preventing major health concerns like heart attacks or strokes. For those unfamiliar with beets, it may seem like a daunting vegetable, but as we step into the kitchen, there are endless opportunities to explore and experiment. Adding a splash of olive oil or a hint of balsamic vinegar can elevate the natural sweetness of beets, while pairing them with citrus, like mandarin slices, introduces a refreshing contrast. The issue of blackened toes is not just a localized problem. It serves as a warning signal of much larger concerns regarding your body's overall blood circulation. When the arteries narrow, it can lead to serious complications, including heart attacks, strokes, or even cognitive decline. Therefore, noticing black toes should prompt immediate action, specifically a consultation with a vascular surgeon. These specialists are trained to assess and address circulatory issues, which can often be the root cause of such alarming symptoms. Ignoring these early warning signs could lead to much more severe health consequences down the road, making timely intervention critical for your well-being. Fortunately, one of the simplest ways to support your circulatory system is through mindful nutrition. Nature offers us a wide array of foods that can enhance blood flow, and beets are an excellent example. Roasted beets, in particular, are not only a delicious addition to your diet, but are also packed with nutrients that support vascular health. The nitrates found in beets help to dilate your blood vessels, allowing blood to circulate more freely and reducing strain on the heart. This powerful vegetable can play a significant role in preventing cardiovascular issues, from heart attacks to strokes, simply by incorporating it into everyday meals. For those unfamiliar with beets, they may seem like an intimidating vegetable to cook with, but they're actually quite versatile. With a little creativity in the kitchen, they can become a staple of a heart-healthy diet. For instance, roasting them with a drizzle of olive oil and a touch of balsamic vinegar brings out their natural sweetness, while pairing them with something citrusy like orange or mandarin slices adds a refreshing contrast. Preparing healthy, circulation-boosting meals can become a rewarding act of self-care, nourishing not just your body, but also your mind and emotions. Cooking with intention allows you to take control of your health in the most fundamental way. There's also an exciting element of exploration that comes with preparing wholesome meals. Standing in the produce section, gazing at a bunch of raw beets, you may feel uncertain about how to transform them into a delicious dish. But with today's wealth of culinary resources, from online recipes to cooking tutorials, you can easily learn how to make these nutritious vegetables an enjoyable part of your diet. When we make informed choices about the foods we eat, we are actively participating in our health, ensuring that we're doing everything we can to live longer, more vibrant lives. The body's response to beets is fascinating on a biochemical level as well. As you chew, the nitrates in the beets are converted into nitric oxide, a compound that helps widen blood vessels and improve blood flow. This process not only supports heart health, but also has a profound impact on circulation throughout the body, particularly in the extremities, like the legs and feet. For individuals who are at risk of peripheral artery disease, PAD, or related conditions, improving circulation can be life-changing. However, as with all things in life, moderation is key. While foods like beets and spinach are great for promoting circulation, they also contain oxalates, which can contribute to kidney stones in some individuals. A balanced and varied diet is essential to avoid any potential downsides while still benefiting from the positive effects these foods can have. If dietary changes alone aren't enough, it's important to seek professional advice. A doctor or vascular specialist can offer further guidance, whether through medications or advanced treatments designed to improve circulation and overall cardiovascular health. The advancements in modern medicine are also providing exciting new tools for supporting circulation. For instance, innovative devices are now available that use electrical stimulation to promote the growth of new blood vessels in the legs, offering hope for individuals suffering from severe circulatory problems. These technologies represent a fusion of science and nature, helping to optimize blood flow in ways that were previously unimaginable. With such advancements, we now have more options than ever before to support our health. Ultimately, taking care of your body and its circulatory system is an act of self-respect and self-preservation. Recognizing early signs like blackened toes and taking proactive steps, whether through dietary changes or medical treatments, can help prevent serious complications from arising. By staying mindful of what we eat and how we care for our bodies, we're not just managing symptoms, we're shaping our future health. Every meal prepared with care and every decision made to promote circulation brings us closer to a life of vitality and longevity. So let's embrace the process of learning about our bodies, experimenting with foods that enhance our well-being, and utilizing the resources at our disposal. Our circulatory health is in our hands, And the choices we make today will have a lasting impact on how we feel tomorrow. By being attentive to the signs, staying informed, and making conscious decisions, we can enjoy a healthier, more fulfilling life. One that is filled with energy, clarity, and the freedom to thrive well into the future.